the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said.
So
So
that's...
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused,
Okay, a very good afternoon to you. You're welcome to the program African Discourse on Independent Television. Good to know that you are there. And of course, I'm sure you watched this program last week, Monday, at about this time when we talked about, coup. It was Guinea-Bissau, the coup that was attempted, the alleged coup in Guinea-Bissau that was, said to have taken place, and how the president Mbalo had to leave for Senegal. And of course, lastly, we were told that he was in Congo Brazzaville. So just about some few days ago, we heard of another attempted coup. This time around, a very close neighbor to Nigeria, talking about Benin Republic. And of course, it's still, being discussed that the coup was only attempted and it was foiled. So what we're going to be talking today on the program, what we're going to be discussing, is going to be looking at the implications of attempted coup in Africa. What does it say about our politics in the continent? And of course, to look at all this this afternoon, we're so privileged to have a professor of vocational and technical education, Professor Victor Igbenidion, is our guest this afternoon. Sir, you're welcome to the program African Discourse.
Thank you very much.
And let me say compliments of the season to you. The Benin will say, Selugbe. All right, sir, just like what I said a while ago, because it's almost one story but too many. I mean, talking about a series of coup, that has happened in Africa for the past say 2 years now. I think the only successful one that people praise is the case of Burkina Faso. We've seen all that coup, but the one of Burkina Faso seems to have taken ground there. But let us quickly look at what seems to be making rounds now. I mean, we also saw a fair share of the alleged coup in Nigeria some 1 or 2 months ago. Now, what do you think is creeping into our political space in the continent, in Africa? Let's start from there.
Well, coup is, as they say, it's an aberration. Everybody is aiming at a democratic dispensation in all the countries. Okay. So, it's very disturbing that we have a trend of coup, that when they give that they are going to repair everything, the military, a short distance along the line, they are in the same mode with the people that they have overthrown, the civilian government they have overthrown. And most of the time, there is no stability before another group will take over. And this, some of these democracy who are perpetuating themselves in office as a democracy, these are the things that lead to frustration, and these military adventurers, they want to try and take over. That is my take on it for now.
Okay. All right. Now, the difference between the one that happened in Guinea-Bissau about last week and the one that happened a few days ago in Benin Republic is the fact that this one was foiled. As a matter of fact, we understand that the Nigerian authority is being praised so that it was part of, what made the coup not to have taken place. Anyway, we're going to come to that, as the discussion goes on. But, Prof, let us look at it one more time, because just like what you said, that coup may be as a result of a failed government. And, military, they come in when the government is not living up to expectation and all that. But it's very, very worrisome that they come in now and it appears that people accept them. I mean, like the case of Burkina Faso, that people accept them and all that. So what does that tell us again? In African politics, what does it show? What does it tell?
It shows that governance is not properly done. By the time a coup occurs and people are jubilating, it shows that that government has failed in a way. Because, as we know, government or civilian government, most of them, they are not after the welfare of their citizens. They want to just take power for its sake. And that's what leads to what I said, perpetuation. Like if you see in Cameroon, the man has been there for so long. It took a long time before the Zimbabwe man died away. So there's this power grabbing. And they believe that if they are not there, the country cannot survive, which is not true at all. It's like we now, we say, oh, because we are old now, we have all the wisdom in the world. Whereas there are technological advancement that we cannot even cope with. That if a younger generation, they are brought in, they might use technology to change everything. Even though they themselves, they have their own issues with regards to this primitive acquisition of wealth, so to speak. So the trend is something that must be tamed with good governance. That is what I would say. Not that, because like Nigeria now, it has gone there with their efforts to help to quell the coup, so to speak, give their army a backup. And we're also told that the coup was just limited to a television station, which is it's very suicidal for them. As they were running away now, the Nigerian Air Force was tracing them and bombing them, so to speak. So we need good governance. You see, when the government is good, the average citizen doesn't care about what is going on. He has good roads, his income is okay, he has good purchasing power, he has electricity, he has water, he earns as and when due. He doesn't bother. But when he has to do all these things by himself, he has to dig a borehole for himself, he has to provide electricity for himself, then what is the government now doing? How do we feel the impact of the government in our lives? This is what prompts them. As soon as the government is kicked out by the military, people go to the street to jubilate. See, after all, we are not benefiting anything. School fees are, children's school fees are skyrocketing. Cost of living it has runaway inflation, and a lot of other things going on. So we cannot say that we have the benefit of good governance. See, for instance, the university lecturers, they have been negotiating with government since 2009 up to now. It was recently, about a few days ago, I was hearing that, they have accepted 40% increase. Anyway, that's still subject to a realization. Exactly. I said, what now happens to people who have now retired in abject poverty? Are they going to have a retroactive effect? And say, okay, you people were in service during the period this thing was negotiated for over the years. So it's part of bad governance. People should tidy up. When they attempted to go, sorry, I'm diverting a little. I'm just trying to buttress what good governance is all about. When people are reacting, you know that something is wrong. Tackle it and go to the root, and people will be happy. That is the essence of governance.
Okay. All right, viewers out there, in case you've just joined us, the program is African Discourse on Independent Television, and our focus this afternoon is to look at the very recent coup coups, you may want to say now, in Africa. We saw that, playing out again a few days ago in Benin Republic, very close to Nigeria here. And our guest this afternoon is Professor Victor Igbenedion. Now, Prof, let's look at it one more time, because, like you were trying to explain, the coup, I remember in the mid-80s when former head of state Babangida came in through coup, Abacha also came in and all that. Now, when you mention coup, hearing of it alone, you shiver. Yes. But unlike the recent ones that we are seeing now, the coup just on the screen of the televisions, you hear the military junta announcing that they have, taken over and all that. Like the one that happened in Guinea-Bissau. I mean, the supposedly ousted president was the one that made the broadcast. Then the question was that if really there was a coup, you cannot be making a broadcast. No. You will be under house arrest.
Exactly.
Now, some analysts are of the opinion that perhaps African leaders now that are not doing well are finding a leeway out because of their bad governance and all that. Yes. Remember the case of Guinea-Bissau, though it is still under investigation as we speak now, because our own former president was there, former President Goodluck Jonathan, and he was there in the strength of the African Union Forum leadership and all that. So he has requested a full-scale investigation into what actually happened in Guinea-Bissau. Now, what analysts are saying is that this kind of coup that we seem to be having now, it looks as if bad leaders in African politics staged the coup. What's your take on that?
I cannot contend it with you, that opinion. It's possible. As you said, they want to have a leeway. No. Sponsor coup, no, and come back to assume leadership after a supposedly quelled coup. For example, the Guinea-Bissau example you gave.
Yeah.
How can they say there's a coup?
and he escaped. And he was in Senegal.
Yes.
Then from there he went to Congo Brazzaville.
Yes. Nothing has happened. Jonathan was even reporting that a junior officer slapped a very serious, gave a senior official, almost like vice president, a big slap, and nothing was happening. You see from that analysis that the government was deteriorating. The situation was deteriorating. He had no grip of power.
In Guinea-Bissau?
Yes, he had no grip of power. So he had to look for a way to escape. And as you said, Jonathan, being the kind of person that he is, he was in the election monitoring team also that took place in Guinea-Bissau. So he said, let them go and declare the election, the winner of the election. Obviously, the president didn't win, and he didn't want them to...
It was obvious that he was going to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he had to do something about it, which is very, very bad, very, very bad. Governments or leaders must be held accountable for what goes on in their country. They can't do things arbitrarily and get away with it. There was question. You have to question. You can't do that in Britain, for example. They do less things, and it counts against them for the rest part of their lives. So, but here, it's like they can do anything and get away with it. So, it's important that we become more sensitive. Africa must be more sensitive to the people that rule them, so that we will not be moving in circles like that. This one will come today, this one will come tomorrow, and next time, you can see in Nigeria, for example, what they call recycling of people. When you continue to recycle people in a country of about 230-something million, then something is wrong. There are people out there. It's like our football team also. If you hunt, you will get the best out of it. Where smaller countries can get the best and win. So recycling, it doesn't help us so much. There are people that are really very good. You can see their ambassadorial list. They're bringing people back, as if there are no person. No, there will be a time they will get exhausted of their ideas of governance. They can't do much again.
Okay. All right, so we take another break now. Don't forget the program is still African Discourse on independent television, and implications of attempted coups in Africa is what we are talking about today. And our special focus today is the recent one in the Benin Republic. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common one.
All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, African Discourse. Now, Prof, let us look at what seems to have attracted a lot of persons, when the Benin Republic coup happened. I mean, a lot of Nigerians were really not interested in the coup. I mean, for most people, they would prefer a better government. It is not as if I don't want to say it's not as if the military can give you a better government, but some persons will prefer a better government, as it goes on. Now, as the Benin Republic happened, the coup happened, how the Nigerian authority had to ask the troops to go there to survey the situation, and a quick response, became a talking point. I mean, looking at a nation, Nigeria, that is grappling with Boko Haram insurgency, terrorism almost at its highest peak and all that. And it is not a bad one. I mean, after all, a big brother nation that Nigeria is to West African countries and all that, to respond to a country in need is not bad after all. But what does it tell us? I mean, the quickness at which the Nigerian authority responded to that coup. I mean, it is on the paper this morning, whereby the president is hailing the military troop for responding quickly and all that. So the question that we ask is, how come this same might is not used to respond to our own security issues in the country?
I will take you to a trending news that the Yorubas in diaspora, they were warning our president, Bola Tinubu, that you should see the trend around this, what we are discussing now, and that you should go back and start to examine his government so that he will not fall short and attract coup. That's the Yorubas in diaspora. It's in the news. They were talking to him. So you are going to quench other people's coup in their place. You look inward. You have to be introspective. Look inward. What is wrong? What is wrong with these countries? Are they different from what you are doing? So, but to me, it's part of how to secure himself. It's diversionary. Sometimes they call us toothless bulldog. How does he show that? He must show his fangs somewhere. So, as you said, he's a big brother in Africa, and this small country, Republic of Benin, it can easily help out. Of course, our troops, their morale is very high as at now. Now that they have a new Minister of Defense and all that one. You also recall that they said most of the Minister of Defenses that Ministers of Defense that we have had, they didn't even have military background at all. So how can they operate with the military itself? One was even touted as not even having school set, but was a minister because he's from the north. So, he gave a marching order recently that the military must fight very boldly. And they seem to be getting interim results. I won't call it Pyrrhic victory, but they are getting results with General Musa in the saddle for now.
So you mean the military is getting result now?
Yes.
I mean, it's just only a week. General Musa is just only days old.
But since he gave them a mandate, and that they should fight to finish.
Or maybe this response to Benin Republic was the first litmus test that they had to have.
No, after he gave the order that they should fight to finish, they got some victories locally. But as I'm telling you, this one is to emphasize that the Nigerian military still have the bite. So with this excursion to Benin Republic, it will also send some signals to the local scenario for banditry, for all of that. One day we were discussing it here. I said there is sabotage within the military in this fight against Boko Haram, ISWAP, and insurgency.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, in Nigeria. That's what I'm saying. Because look, our troops that have been touted as very good internationally, they can't even push anything within the country.
Now, Prof, I also wanted to speak to this now. Even as we try to ask the question, how come the Nigerian troop can respond to issues outside the country but not being able to respond to things at home? Now, hear this. The ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States, on Sunday ordered the deployment of elements of its standby force to the Republic of Benin hours after condemning what it described as the attempted military takeover in the country. The ECOWAS Commission disclosed the decision in a statement issued just after consultations with members of the Mediation and Security Council at the level of heads of states and government. It said, further to its earlier statement on the Republic of Benin, the ECOWAS Commission hereby informed the general public that pursuant to provisions of relevant ECOWAS instruments, in particular Article 25 of the 1999 Protocol relating to mechanism of conflict provision. Now, what this all says is that the ECOWAS also had to back up as a response to what happened in Benin Republic. Yes. I mean, Nigeria is not just Nigeria is a big nation as far as ECOWAS is concerned. Is it that ECOWAS is not aware of what is going on in Nigeria, or Nigeria is not accepting ECOWAS help in this fight against insecurity in the country, Prof?
It's interesting. ECOWAS is aware. When did our president leave the chairmanship of the ECOWAS?
Yes.
I think it's less than a year or so.
So how come all this constitution, this protocol laws, Article 25 of the 1999 Constitution, how come they are not relating it to as it relates to? Because Nigeria is a member state of the ECOWAS.
Yes, and a very strong member at that. It deploys its resources to help the ECOWAS joint military force. But the contradictory part of it now is that Nigeria is being ravaged by
insurgency.
Yes. And they don't seem to be coming to help. No, they are just there like a lame duck, and they are not doing anything. So it's very disheartening. But if they come together, and the region is very close to some of them, the Lake Chad basin, and all that one. So it's very close to Nigeria and very close to some of these countries. That if they really have their standby joint force, they can do wonders. Because the Sambisa forest is also close to that area, where these insurgents and all that are operating from. One of the greatest mystery about this fight that is not ending is the resources that these foreigners are exploiting in that forest. You see, they will come, the Northerners will say, we should settle the the people, the insurgents and all that one, that when the military, the militants in the southwest Nigeria, south Nigeria, Akwa Ibom, Delta and all that were doing their own, Yar'Adua called them and settled them and everything. He said we should do the same to the northern insurgents, which is quite different.
Now, if the exploitation or the exploration of the resources in the north is the one that is responsible for the insurgency. Now, last week we saw a directive from the Northern States Governors Forum to put a halt to mineral
exploitation,
exploitation
yes,
or exploration, if you like. Now
it's exploitation.
Okay, now without put a stop to the insurgency, the fight against the insurgency.
In a way, that is where they get their funding from, apart from kidnapping. They have mass resources from illegal exploitation of our resources in the north. And these are underdeclared, unlike the Niger Delta, the petroleum, which are, even though we say there's bunkering and all that one, to a very large extent, we know how much we are selling. We know how much we are receiving. But today, we don't know how much of uranium is being exploited from the Sambisa forest.
Yeah.
We don't know how much of lithium and so other rare minerals are being exploited from that region without anybody knowing. So you have individuals who mine these minerals and use them at a personal level, supported by these other foreigners who we say they are our friends and all that one. They are behind everything. So that's why it becomes very intractable. We don't have the technology to be able to do it. They supply the technology. They supply the arms, illegal arms, that they use to fight the regular troops. You can see that they are arresting some regular troops, that they are supporting the bandits and the Boko Haram insurgents. Why? Because of what they get from it. I was seeing one, whether it was a major or somebody. It's in the force, but it's supplying arms to the insurgents. They just caught him recently. So how can the war end like that? It becomes very difficult.
All right, we'll take another pause again on the program still, African Discourse on Independent Television. And when we return on the other side of time, we're going to be looking at more issues as we look at the implications of coup in Africa. And most especially this recent one that just happened in Benin Republic, very close to Nigeria. We'll be right back, please stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body. But the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said. So
that's...
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for...
All right, thank you one more time. Still the program on your television, African Discourse on ITV. Now, some of the facts are fine that we're still following now is that on the 7th of December 2025, the several soldiers of the Benin Armed Forces led by Lieutenant Colonel Pascal Atigri announced the overthrow of Beninese President Patrice Talon on national television. And following an attack on Talon's residence in Cotonou hours later, Beninese Interior Minister Alassane Seido claimed that the coup attempt has been thwarted. Now, if you go through all this, you will see that the Republic of Benin is supposed to be having their presidential election sometime in 2026. That's next year. Now, if you try to deep further, there are indications suggesting that we hinted on that a while ago that this coup. Thwarted coup in Benin Republic seems to have been state managed, just as the one that happened in Guinea-Bissau. Now, Prof, the question I will begin to ask now is that what are the implications of staging coup at the expense of good governance in the continent? Because that seems to be, we started from that talking point.
Yes.
That seems to be what is going on now. A government that is not doing well may want to make an attempt to stage a coup. So what is the implication of it at the expense of good governance to the people in Africa?
I'm happy that you brought in that one. It is a very smart move. Because they may not see it like that. People may not see it ordinarily. But if you have an insight, you will realize that this coup are sponsored, from within. When I mean within, from the political actors in the country. For example, the president. When they see the fact that they may not succeed in winning the election or changing the constitution to give them an elongation of their tenure, they want to sponsor coup that will temporarily bring them out of the government, and because we are talking about democracy, they say they should be reinstated because they have truncated the democratic process of changing governance. So they want to come back through the back door and finish. And the implication is terrible. It's not something to imagine at all, because it keeps people in perpetual poverty. If they are ruling well, if they are doing well, people will want them. People will want them ordinarily, but they are not doing well. So they want to come back through the back door by sponsoring coup against themselves. The whole scenario is very laughable. Election is going on. You sponsor a coup, then you move from one country to the other. Election results are not declared, or whatever it is. It's a funny thing. We shouldn't allow that thing to come to be established. Otherwise, other supposedly democracy, that will be their what they will be doing for now. When they see the telltale, that they are not going to win the election, they will sponsor a coup to truncate the electoral process.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now let's shift away from that. Briefly now. Burkina Faso is. The Burkina Faso now. It's a country that is very close to Benin too.
Yes.
And even as we praise the military junta in Burkina Faso. Now, when Ibrahim Traoré came on board months ago, he told a lot of, analysts that he's not going to be staying more than 3 months, and we've seen more than 8 months now.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, because the military coming into power in Africa, it's somehow. Now, what does that tell us about while other nations of the world, in other continents, the fashionable democratic system of government, Africa seems to be tilting towards a military takeover and all that. What does that tell?
It simply tells that we are not matured democratically yet. The much touted democracy that we say we are running in Africa, we are not doing it well at all. We need to go back. Otherwise, the threat of the military coup will be there all the time because of bad governance. Whereas other countries, it is very difficult for the military to intervene. But rather than the military, it's the people. What is that country again? Is it Venezuela? There was no outright military intervention. It was the people, the pressure of the people, that drove the government.
That's Maduro now?
Yes, Maduro, yes. And he has not been completely removed, though. They are still talking about it entire. But it's the people. That shows the power of the people. In Africa, the government is in a few hands, either in the military or the civilians. And they seem not to be accountable to any person at all, except the citizens, or what they call them. They are properly enlightened, and they will now begin to ask for their rights. Once they begin to ask for their rights, the equation will change, because they know that they can easily be brought down when the people come out and say, no, we don't want you anymore. They may kill some people, but they will go ahead. And in no time, the message begins to sink that the power belongs to the people. That's it. We have to reach that level, not leaving everything. So we look at, you see, people benefit from either a military coup or civilian government. So once my person is in government now, I begin to say, well, he's doing well because of what I will get from it. Well, we will not be looking at the overall. You see the Northerners now, they are critical about the government of the Southerner. Whereas they enjoy themselves while they were there, without any encumbrances at all. They were just enjoying. Buhari was doing what he has to do and bringing everybody on board. But they are doing their analysis now. It's even painful to them that can we stay under this government for the next 4 years or another 8 years like their brother did? Whether their brother was doing well or not, it didn't mean anything. They were all perfecting, they were enjoying themselves. So we need a lot of enlightenment in this country to know that government is not about a particular ethnic group. Government is for the people. And once, as I said earlier, once we are getting the dividends of democracy in governance, we care less. You have, see, the other day you were telling me how you were sweating and you went to pay for your children who got admission.
Well, that's off.
Yes. What you can do, not only you, a lot of people are complaining, what you can do seamlessly. But everything, you are in a trouble for it in this country. So when there is a little change or there's going to be change, you see people supporting the change. Because there is no aspect of governance that we are enjoying, so to speak. They will come, tighten your belt. And in another, this year, you will be enjoying. In another few, it's like that. It doesn't seem to end. So, but it needs more participatory democracy. We need to be involved. The civil society and all of us, we must be involved. Whether we are poor or not, let's learn our voice. To say, this thing, it's not good, and it will stand. That is the way to go.
Now, when you say participatory democracy, are we saying that the kind of democracy we have in Africa is not participatory enough? I mean, every 4 years in most countries of the continent, elections, presidential elections are carried out. So how exactly do we mean when we say probably the democracy is not participatory enough? How exactly do we mean?
Don't you hear all the time that the electoral process, the electoral process. We keep adjusting it and adjusting it.
They keep amending it, the electoral process.
Yes, because it's not giving us the best at all. So people are not benefiting from governance. And we say, okay, people can use money to buy votes. It's an aberration. It's not right. And so a candidate that cannot buy votes will not be able to win. He may be the best candidate. He may not be able to win because, and we have to be weaned off this money, the electorate. We have to be well educated to know that we are just eating our future by collecting the money. We must see, everybody must be exposed to see that, look, we look beyond the immediate. Is this man going to favor this country on the long run? Not necessarily because he's a Benin man or Ishan man or whatever it is. So that is the way we should look at it.
Okay. All right. So as we comment our descent on this talk show this afternoon, let's look at what are the cardinals. What I mean by the cardinals now is that African leaders, what are those things do you think they need to put in place in governance in Africa so that we don't keep on hearing this attempted coup, foiled coup, fake coup, all that, because most nations of the world, you don't hear of coup. I mean, you may hear of how nations of the world are trying to just oppose themselves in terms of economic advantage to other nations of the neighboring countries and all that. Not cool. So African leaders, what are the cardinals that they need to watch out for? So that issues of coup, because like what I said a while ago, that is one but too much of a story that we hear these days in African politics.
The cardinals, they must put in. First, if I use a good governance, I hope it's not a nebulous term, that it doesn't have any specifics. But good governance is the antidote to a coup. And how do we do this? We make sure that the citizens are impacted by the governance. The government must impact on the citizens. You interact with them, you'll find that majority of them, is a problem. The system is compromised already. So when we begin to tout education, well, let us qualify the education. It must be good quality education for the people. You know, from primary to university level. So, so that's one of the cardinals. Number two, we have to train people so that they can engage themselves in self-employment and also work for the system.
Okay.
It's not that if I'm not employed when I graduate, I can just stay. I won't be able to do anything for myself. That type of education is wrong. That's why they talk about vocational and technical education.
Yeah, but what about the kind of military that, because somebody has also suggested that African leaders should also try to look at the kind of military that they bring on board, because it's possible that the military may just be interested in governance for personal
yes, aggrandizement
and personal benefit, personal interest.
But how would they be able to know the military they bring on board? You see, the Bible will say the human mind is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? They may give you all the support and pretend and everything. Just like I'm seeing part of, if they had really succeeded at this, we say there's the coup that they did
in Benin.
They may not bring in those people. They say we want to enjoy ourselves for the time being. It goes on. Like we had in the country, Abiola nominated people into the interim government. But when the Abacha seized power, it spiraled out of his control. He couldn't do anything anymore. So we should be, whereas we should be mindful of the kind of military people we bring. But we must be very circumspect of them too. When Obasanjo came, he retired a large chunk of them to be able to function well.
All right, so let us leave the discussion here today so that we can pick it up from here some of that time. That's next week Monday, and we pray that before then another attempted coup does not happen, so that we won't have to talk about it. Now, what we've been saying here is that whether attempted or re-coup, it undermined true democracy in Africa, in politics in Africa, and that's what we've been saying. So we just hope and pray, like I said, that it doesn't happen in another African nation, any moment again. So that's just it. All right, so we thank God that the one that happened in Benin Republic was, was 4-8. So kudos to the Nigerian authority, and also kudos to the ECOWAS troop that also heard the call. And we plead that please, ECOWAS should also hear the call of Nigeria, because Nigeria, as it stands now, is going through a big issue as it relates to security in the country. All right, so until the same time next week, I want to say thank you so much, Prof, for coming on the program today.
Thank you.
All right, so until the same time next week. My name is Evan Sunokoye. Goodbye, and God bless you.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said. So
that's...
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us today on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adesu Walsawage, and today we're going to be talking to a family doctor who will have to intimate us on things that we should do this period. This is the Yuletide season and a lot of things are bound to happen. People will travel to and fro, accidents will happen, the house will be crowded with visitors and every other person, and so home accident is also bound to happen. And when all of this happen, what are you supposed to do before you see a doctor? In the case of burns, you see people bringing salt, some palm oil, some shea butter, some water. Another one that they use is bicarbonate sodium, that is baking powder. You see it everywhere, people trying to use it on people who suffer burns, and people are bound to fall. Heart attack will happen, poisoning will happen, and then even food poisoning can happen, all right? And people will get poisoned on alcohol and even PCM, all right? So when all of this happen, what are you supposed to do before the arrival of a doctor? This and many more we're going to be talking about today on the program Healthy Living. We'll take a short break for some commercials, and when we come back, we will be talking to our doctor. Stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them or are dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Igwe Festival is the colorful and crowd-pulling festival in Benin Kingdom. The Igwe Festival is an annual event that is celebrated by all Benin, both at home and abroad, to mark the end of the Benin year and to usher in a new year with a renewed hope for peace and prosperity. The annual Ugie Festival is centered on the Oba of Benin as the Oba takes the center stage.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. We must apologize for that long break. We had to fix one or two, but here we are ready to serve you. Like I said before, we're talking about tackling emergencies this Yuletide season, and I have with me Dr. Aide Mercy. She's a resident family physician, Department of Family Medicine, UBT. It's nice to have you join us, Dr. Mercy. Okay, all right, Dr. Mercy, we want to look at tackling emergencies this period. So let's start with children, because homes are full now, the holidays are here, and so many children at home, cousins, everybody trying to enjoy this Christmas. So let's take it from choking hazards, you know. Yeah. Let's see, how can we handle choking hazard? Because once a child is choking, people panic around that child, or people around will simply panic, because this period children want to put things in their mouth, they want to put things in their nose, you name it. So when a child is choking, before we get to the doctor, what should we do?
Okay, like they say, prevention is better than cure.
Okay.
Yes, so first of all, you should have age-appropriate toys. There are some toys that are not good for toddlers because they can easily put it in their mouth and then they start choking. Okay. So you should avoid any small objects, even nuts and popcorns, and they're not usually good for like smaller children because they can popcorn, nuts, and smaller objects. They are usually not good for children because they can easily choke on it, and by the time they choke, everybody's in a panic, everywhere is frantic. So that's the first thing. Prevention is better than cure. Okay. Then when you see that like a child is choking, the first thing is for everyone to remain calm. You try to
that kind of environment.
I know, yes.
All these doctors, I like it for too much. Just be calm. Just be calm.
Yes, okay. Is to remain calm. Then you try to find out if the object is somewhere where you can reach. Then you try to take it out of their mouth. Otherwise, you would need to like elicit like a coughing reflex. You tap on their back. Okay. Like hit their back so that they can. That pressure would make them bring it out. Okay. But if you notice that is not working, they start turning blue and they are not breathing well, you have to actually go straight to the hospital so that a maneuver can be done to try to remove it. Okay. So that's why I said prevention
is okay. So in this instance now, prevention is key. Yes. We should prevent all of this and take everything that can choke a child. Exactly. Toys that are not children friendly should be taken out of their reach. Yes. Okay, so another thing that can happen this period is there are things I've seen, there are things I've really observed is poisoning. Yes. Ingesting poisonous substance like it could be spirit, it could be anything that can poison that child, you know. Like you said, prevention is better than cure. But when it happens, what are people or what are parents supposed to do once a child ingests liquid that are not supposed to be ingested?
Okay, so it depends. It depends on the kind of liquid. You know, most times when it happens, the parents will want to maybe give them palm oil, give them kerosene. In fact, that worsens the situation.
Oh, so palm oil does not help?
It doesn't help, because at the time you're trying to force the palm oil into their mouth, they can actually aspirate it, that it will go into their lungs. And so let's say even the product that they took may not even be as poisonous as the effect of the palm oil you've given. So the best thing is still to get to the hospital, let them identify what it is, and now give the antidote. Because you may not be able to get the antidote easily available. We can use activated charcoal for some kind of poisons. However, it's better to locate the nearest hospital.
When you say activated charcoal, what are you talking about?
Activated charcoal is a type of substance that is used to deactivate certain kinds of poisonous substances. But it's not one cap that fits all. So you can't use activated charcoal for all the kinds of poisons. So like I said, it's better you take them to the hospital so that they can ask the timing, the quantity, and when it was ingested. So we can now observe the child and do the necessary thing. Like I said, in the case of even poisoning, prevention is also better than cure, because there are some kind of substances, maybe like the popular one that's sniper. It's very dangerous. So it's better not to allow them. Of course, children, they are always adventurous, but it's better to keep these things far away from their reach as much as possible. Even your pills too, they can also ingest pills, so it's better to take them out. But the best thing is to get to the hospital so that the substance is identified and the necessary antidote is given immediately. You
know, normally when things like this happen, the very first thing, bring palm oil, bring there's this other one, this black one, a diagmo, palm kernel oil, and all of that. That is the first thing people want to do. Oh yeah, press the neck, open your mouth, that kind of a thing. So a situation like that should not occur.
It should not be happening, because when the problem is when you are forcing them to take it, they would, you know, it will get into their lungs, and that is the problem. They can now spend so long in the hospital trying to treat the consequences of that. So I think the best thing is just to get to the hospital.
All right, you're hearing from Dr. Mercy. She's telling us a lot. Once things like that happen, don't panic. And palm oil is not the option. If you can't help that child, see as fast as you can, just try and take that child to the nearest hospital where help will come to the child. All right, doctor, let's not keep talking about children, because I know that this is their period. This is when families will want to do Christmas decoration, plenty things, and so a lot of small items will just be flying and lying around. So prevention, doctor says, is best. Now let's look at adults. This period, we notice that there's usually a high rate of heart attack.
Yes, that's
this period. I don't know, is it a Christmas pressure or pressure of money to spend? I don't know, but you know, this period, there's usually this high rate of heart attack. So before we see a doctor, what should people do?
Okay, so this period, definitely the spirits are high, everybody's excited, people have expectations, and of course there's pressure. So all of that, maybe anxiety, worrying, you know, all of that stress and, you know, put a lot of pressure on the heart. That's the truth. There's a mechanism for that. Stress affects a part of our nervous system that triggers the heart to start beating faster. So if the person already has underlying heart conditions, maybe the person already has hypertension, the heart is already weak, the person is at increased risk already if the person is having to battle with all of these things that are stressing the heart. So that's why we say overly charged environments, you know, are not good for a person that already has underlying heart issues. Then even your diet, maybe at this time is when people want to, you know, give themselves some form of enjoyment, take this, take that, and all of those things are contributing.
Want to flex this period.
Yes, and even some want to indulge in alcohol. So all of these things would worsen the risk of having a heart attack. Yes, especially for those that already have an underlying heart condition.
So what should be done? You have told us not to panic in any situation. So what should we do? How can we have help somebody who is already having a heart attack?
Okay, so the first things, like I will always say, is the prevention. So your lifestyle, the things like avoid things that are stressful. Worrying really will not add to your, it won't change the circumstance. So avoid being overly worried.
Okay.
Sleep deprivation also adds to it. You're not sleeping well, you're worried. All of these things are putting pressure on your heart. Then avoid alcohol. That's the truth. Avoid alcohol, avoid being drinking. Watch what you're eating. Eat more vegetable, fruits. So, but when the person already has developed the things to look out for, if the person starts complaining of maybe chest pain,
okay,
it will usually come like that. They will have chest pain, they can have difficulty breathing. Some people may not even have chest pain, they may just have tightness in their chest, like a feeling like they can't breathe like they're suffocating. For some people, they'll start sweating profusely, they'll feel like there's an impending doom, like something bad is going to happen, or they feel like their heart is racing. So those are like little signs that are coming up. At that time, it's still better to go to the hospital.
Okay, don't wait.
Don't wait, because you know how Nigerians are. They'll be like, I would overcome it. Let me just be waiting and
try to wish it away.
Exactly. At that time, when you're having those discomfort, go to the hospital. And if there's already an underlying condition, now is the time to go for your checks. Go and check your blood pressure, check your level of cholesterol. There's this myth that people have that if you're slim, you're not chubby, that you don't have cholesterol, you don't have high cholesterol.
They play. That's how they call it on the street. Just they play.
So you can eat anything you like, but it's not true. Just go and check your cholesterol, and you'll be surprised that your cholesterol levels are high, because maybe there's a family disposition and you're just really eating anything. So go and actually check, so that they will now realize that, okay, it's high, then they'll start giving you the medications for it.
Okay.
They'll start giving the medications for it. And still, for a heart attack, it's still better to go to the hospital as soon as possible. If the person is already hypertensive, that's already a risk factor. Diabetes too is a risk factor. All of these things are risk factors. So in these times that everywhere is charged, there's maybe one news coming up or the other, these are triggers. So avoid the triggers. When you now notice these symptoms that are outlined, you're feeling weak, you don't understand yourself, please go to the hospital and get yourself checked, so that they can, identify if there's something going on and prevent it or treat it immediately to prevent it from getting worse.
Dr. Mercy, thank you so much for educating us. Now, let's say in a minute, can you just tell women out there what to do this period to save their mental health? Because I know, at this period, some women are already charging. They never bring money for Christmas rice, never bring money for Christmas things, they're already charging up. So please just talk to them in a minute how they can save themselves from mental stress.
Okay. Saving yourself from mental stress. Identifying, first of all, that health is wealth. The fact that you are alive already is something to be thankful for. And this season is all about thankfulness that you got to the end of the year. Be grateful for that, and don't worry too much about all the things that you want to be able to do, you want to be able to achieve.
I want to build us on the Atlantic Sea this Christmas.
So all of those things, I think, what is important should be, you should prioritize family time.
Okay.
Prioritize family time, spend time, quality time with your family. If your spouse is able to provide at least food on the table, to simple meals, the fact that you are bonding together, having family time is so much more. We know what's happening around the country now. We are like lucky not to have those violence and all of those things. So the fact that everybody is around, family time, just be happy and be thankful. And as you're thankful, by God's grace, next year things will get better.
Amen.
Things will get better.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Mercy, for finding time to be with us on the program Healthy Living. We shall do this again soon enough. All right, people, this is how to cope with some emergencies this Yuletide season. And the best medicine for this season is don't panic. Prevent anything that can give you stress. Prevent anything that can bring trouble your way that will make you to run to the hospital. If you do this, I think you'll be happier. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
the man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ogbede Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ogbede Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
Certainly the best.
Osulu waiting dey happen. Osulu waiting dey happen.
For Lambo.
They be traders. Upper market traders.
We remain no helper. Now only here. Now be our team now. No helper. So let go.
Go commissioner. Okay. We go governor office. Okay. Go commissioner. More they go. Hey, I get you. Fine. We are good. Correct. I start. More they go. However, because they watch us for ITV, they watch us online. I did for King Square for Benin City and I did for Urban Market. The traders, they say they're surprised when somebody contacted them saying, make them come out for inside the market from January. However, many of them borrow money. Many of them don't go buy things they want to say for this Christmas and New Year. So they're surprised that this is a shock for them. That's why they want to let governor and let everybody go enter TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Correct. So that's why all of them they say they say they're not going to agree. They say they're not going to agree. They say, however, the one where government said they build, they never build and finish. The ones is scatter another one. I work not there for this country. We want to go meet Sherman now. We want to go meet governor. So till they have So now the matter be this. You see all these people say what they watch here, they be traders. All these people you see for here, they be traders. Some are women, some are men, some are young women, some are girls, and different things. And they Baba, blessed correct. So they're the voice. I know. So now the truth of the matter.
We don't want that.
So the traders that they provoke, they say they are ready to shut down. Upper market.
Osulu waiting dey happen.
Wetin happen again? Why una dey answer? Hawa. Money no dey come. Wetin?
They say we come out. So if you true for that side, I know say you go see do this. You go give us some kind time before we see. But now,
They say January won't come out. Where we want go?
Who tell now you tell Yera?
No, people when they build the market. Okay.
Affect you. It affect you. It affect you. It affect you. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State. Many of these traders they borrow money, and many of these traders, they don't buy goods when we say they want to sell for this Christmas and New Year, and they need to return the money. Whoa. Say whoa.
They say that we come out by January on the 8th.
Where you want to go?
Ask me where we want to go. Where we want to go. Now our market be this, we not get another one. Now here we dey pay school fees. Now we for the eat. They say they want this. All the attachment with this urban market. Both the attachments.
How you take here?
And attachment with this urban market. In many parts the store. In many parts. Now we take the survive. The same will come.
That means to say, now our market be this, so we not get another one. Now my market be this, so. Governor another year. Now our market be this, so
we not get another one. Now our market be this, so we not get another one. Now our market be this, so
Wetin happen?
They say more come out for market and we not get where we they go.
But you know when they fed the bid before they don't.
They never go finish.
Complete farm.
Okay, say we complete everything. They say they want complete outside. What's You know why this thing they pay me well? You see all this our old men. They so they manage. Yes. Okay, how they want to say they feed themselves? If they say me we come outside. Where they say me we can't go. We not go. That said they never repair her. They say me we come outside. I say you're fair so what's soon. Very sorry. I'm going there outside.
You know if you can do like this for outside. Okay, what do now? What made the governor know now?
Let them give us where we go stay.
Wait. Let's talk to the governor of Edo State.
For this place, since I want to renovate them, they should carry out to another place where we will stay before they will renovate it. Because we don't get another place. If they want to renovate us, and now only up the leak for the market. Now that up, now they're supposed to work on the zinc, maybe another thing.
If not 3 months you won't give us, where you go say repair them, we do okay. Not be say go tell us.
Hold on, may you talk. You be trainer for Urban Market here.
Yes.
What's happen?
They say make we come out by January. Say they want renovate here. And when you
that's Urban Market.
For Urban Market, and when you come out, when they do finish, not you go get the store. What do we they talk now? Make you do that side first. If you finish that side, people go enter. Then if you do this side, yes. Not be here go push one of us put for road. Yeah, say make we go.
And if na 6 months you won't give us, where go change one of us go no say na 6 months. Not be say go tell us no come at the end. We know where we'll take up. We know what that one.
Now market be this so we want that another one.
Now market be this so.
I know you.
Now market be this so. We don't get another one. Now market be this so.
I know you.
Now market be this so. We don't get another one. Now market be this so.
Okay, I know you. Governor Goyera. You say now you marry your husband?
Yes, sir, now you're going to take off. You know, go to the take off. Let me marry my husband. Now you're going to take off. Come on, live for my husband head. I'm going to take off my husband too. And I'm going to city. Now this Oba market. Now that they take up my children first school fees. This Oba market they don't get sister. I'm a business. Oba market begins. Mama wait. Yeah. We don't get another one. Now our market begins.
Oba market traders.
Waiting they happen.
All these women, where they outside?
Why we dey outside? Yesterday, that person announced. He say governor talk say he give this Oba market to contractors. Say all of us when we just did this Oba market, may we come outside. May we come outside. Now we say wetin we beg governor where fire burn. Now we beg governor may he build for us. If he build where fire burn, people where they outside they enter. If they say you want to renovate where they leak for up, you can renovate
wait,
where
madam.
they leak.
Now they say, wait. Now them say, or you hear that for announcement, or na person can't tell now. Because I'm surprised that say all the people when they do my business for Oba market, all of them are there outside now.
Now we just there outside the announcement. The announcement. Because when they announce for that side where fire burn, my shade near here is far. So they know they quit they reach this side. So they say today, early this morning, we go tell Oredo Chema. We'll go beg our governor. Wetin we want may hear that place where fire burn, where they build for us, he do well. People where they are after they don't build that one, he don't commission and they don't enter. Now another people go come outside. The contractor where he give now, where they call the drivers, make they hold off first. That's where we are begging our governor. Because it's our papa, we cannot argue anything when he talk. We are begging him and we are begging Oredo Chema because now Oredo they control market. May they help us.
Money no they come from heaven. Do better thing, money go come. Now true what they tell you so. Oga. Wow. It's not clear.
Iya kwa ni malatia, we January ni malatia, bi maaja latia, bi maaseji, e mani eroto, abaye potofo, akwa ni mani rugweti ani mato latia.
What you talk just now? You say waiting.
They say we go come out by January. Make we come outside. How we want to come outside? They never finish that side. They say we wait this side, we go come outside. How we want to
for inside this Oba market.
For inside this Oba market.
Now make all of come out now.
Where we want to stay.
Wait up. May I tell you, you know say all these beautiful guys now, because say they don't want to go do Olosho for outside, then they do manicure and pedicure for inside here. But what will happen now? For this market?
Yes.
Why?
They say they want to do it, they never do the other side. Because I tell they manage now. If they pursue me, they go they feed me because I don't get they give me money Now I tell they hustle, I beg. We don't get money I want to work market for us we not see work now. You see what daily bread market for us we not need anything they say come for January. We want say for inside to save our feed our children
They say make we come for market.
Why?
I don't know where we want to go. They say they want to renovate market. But one of us come as this market just big like this. Not all of us come up for
market.
One market for that matter.
But the one when they say they beat, they never
open them. They never finish them. They say make we come up for market. Now here we dey feed. Now here we dey take care of our children. Now here we dey pay house rent. Now here we dey pay school fees. What's so new?
You know, sure saying na win.
Maybe na win.
Now win.
Now 2 days they don't give us something. What we come out of? They say ending of January. Everybody go evacuate. Whether you go or not, they take bulldozer, carry you throw away.
What did they want to beat you?
I don't know.
They affect you.
They affect you.
Money no dey come from heaven. To better thing money go come. Not true what they tell you.
They say may we pack our load. Adibi as they want repair am. They say okay, may we leave our load. Then may we come out, may they repair am. It go be different case. Then now it good say they want repair the market, fine. Then not be say may we pack our load. Where we want pack our load go? Where we want go? They say may we come out for the market. Where we want go? Where we want go?
You should say that government talker.
Yes.
Government talker.
Yes. Where we want go? As I dey like this, so where me want go? What soon? You never make provision.
And government say we never see you for work again.
People wey come out for that side, they still dey outside. They never repair that side. Where we want go?
Waiting they happen.
I greet you, sir.
Thank you.
Traders from Urban Market.
Yes.
They protest today, say they hear information say make they evacuate the market because of construction. As you don't hear their complaint now, what will be your message to them now?
Yes, my message to them is say we the local government, our duty is to go and see the contractor, ask them what they want, and also provide solution to our market women. If they want to maintain the place and they need them to evacuate, we will create another space for them where they can do their business. Because what the governor is doing there is laudable. And we don't want to discourage them. Because what they do for us for there, na good thing. And all of us what they already do, we appreciate them. Na good thing for us. So we don't want to get issue with governor. Our own be say, we go provide another place for them to do their business so that they will give the contractor space where they fit to do their work. And the space where we want to give them, not small space. As they finish, they will do one section by section. Not be everybody that go drive at once. Do you understand it?
Okay, the trader still talk say if government don't construct and finish, this same space go return back to them.
Of course. Now if I get the shop, now you go return to that shop. We no go carry person shop, give another person. Because the governor is interested in their happiness and for them to be able to do business in a conducive environment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just talked to the Honorable Chairman of Oredo Local Government, Honorable Gabriel Dusari. Shut up!
Waiting they happen.
Certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happened.
women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
ITV, certainly the best.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Certainly the best.
It's Law and You, the program that brings legal issues to the people and the people to the law. Today, we shine the spotlight on accountability in governance, a cornerstone of democracy that ensures those entrusted with power do not abuse it or abandon their duties. But what happens when public officials fail to perform? Are citizens helpless observers, or does the law empower them to demand change and seek redress? From petitions and, of course, public interest litigations to recall processes and legal sanctions, this edition explores the legal remedies available to citizens when elected or appointed officials fail in their duties. We will be speaking with legal minds and, of course, rights advocates on what the Constitution says and what the court can do and what you, as a citizen, must know. And don't forget, you stay with us on Law and You as it unfolds the power of the law in the hands of the people. My name is Philip Omao Gyukbo. We'll be looking at accountability in governance and, of course, legal remedies, that the citizens can explore. We will also have the opportunity to have the presence of a custodian of the law in the person of Emmanuel Obakpolo. Big thanks for always having time to be part of the show.
Good afternoon, Philip. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
All right, let's quickly set the ball rolling. A lot that needs to be done as regards getting it right. We have a system that needs to, work effectively. But first of all, what is accountability in governance? And how does it apply to the citizens demanding this? What importance does it have for citizens to demand this from the government of the day?
Yeah, accountability, as pronounced, is to give records. So accountability in governance is the presentation of records on government's administration to the people and how those records have been properly handled by those in government. That is just accountability. So accountability is to ensure that the people understand and have knowledge on how governance is being carried out on their behalf by those in government.
Okay, but what is the importance? Why should they do that?
Yeah. If you look at governments, from the definition of democracy, it's a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That is what democracy is. And now government is a machinery of governance. So those who are in government, they are managing the wealth of the nation on behalf of the people. And as such, they must give account of how those resources that are made available by the people on the people, so that the people will now understand and have knowledge properly on how governance is carried out. And this government, the governance must be on the benefit of the people. That is all. That is the singular reason why there must be accountability in governance. You don't go into administrative spree or financial spree on how to just spend public fund without being accountable to it.
Okay, do you see a disconnect in between, as in the aspect of the government functionaries, backing on the accountability project to make sure that they give account to the people and render their still worship, and again the aspect of the people, those who are being governed, demanding this? Do you see a disconnect?
Yes, I say a disconnect because if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, the extant Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which upholds and observe and also demand practice of the separation of power, which is spelled out of and enshrined in section 4, 5, and 6, is all about accountability. And also, if you look at section 85, subsection 1 of the extant Constitution, we provide for the office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The essence for the office of the Auditor General of the Federation is to provide for accountability, because he is the one who will audit government accounts, he audit government expenditure, and now know how money or monies that belong public fund has been used, administered, or utilized for the benefit of the people. So there is now a disconnection. Why do I say so? Because even the legislative arm, who ought to carry out oversight function in ensuring that the executive, which is vested with the power to perform executive function, and also the runnings of government on behalf of the people, are doing that as spelled out by the law. Unfortunately, we have a legislature, particularly in this Fourth Republic, that is so lackadaisical and a rubber stamp. So wherein instead of them to carry out their function, they are busy carrying out the lullaby of on your mandate we shall stand. That is not the reason why they are elected. That is not why a legislative function. The legislative function is to ensure that accounts and accountability as rendered by the executive are done on behalf of the people, even to them, properly, so that the people can now be beneficiaries of government expenditures and the runnings of government.
Okay, when you say the legislative arm seems to be failing in that, let's draw a dichotomy, because I understand separations of power, by Montesquieu has brought a situation where the legislative arm, make laws, and of course, while the executive implement these laws, and then the judiciary, interpret and settle disputes, between all of this. Are you saying generally that the legislative arm under the system we operate in Nigeria is faulty to a point where any elected official seems to be tilting towards the executive?
Yes, and I did say that with specific reference to the current legislative arm of government we have.
Did you say that, or do you say that as regards the officials or the system of practice?
It's not the system, because the Constitution does spell out how...
It's a constitutional provision.
And I also told you about Section 85, subsection 1 of the extant Constitution, which also provide for the office of the Auditor General.
So it means it's not a problem of the law?
It's not a problem of the law. The law is there. Is the performance of the law now. And the legislative arm also have what we call oversight function to question how public funds are being used. But here we are. We have a legislative arm of government with specific reference to the National Assembly, who approve all manner of laws. And the same National Assembly does not take time to ask questions on how those laws are used for, the performance, how the executive arm of government, what they be able to administer those laws, and how it has been of benefit to the people of Nigeria. There's no question with reference to that. And that is why you see that it appears that there is no accountability to the people of Nigeria. And that is one of the weak point, pitfalls of this administration that we have just now.
Okay. But what do you see as a causative factor? Because everything seems to be placed on a vote. The ayes have it, or the nay.
With specific reference to public funds, it is more than the question of the aye or the nay have it. It is more than that. And that is why I repeat, I did say that the legislative arm has a duty of oversight function, because the people cannot gather like a Portuguese assembly to begin to ask questions on what their monies are used for. It is their representative, both the Senate and the House of Representatives now at the federal level, and the state houses of assembly at the state level, and the legislative arm of government at the local government level, who carry out this functionality on behalf of the people. And here we are. Their performance is
abysmal.
It's a near zero, abysmal. That is the right word to use. And that is why you see today that even government after government, there is no form of accountability, and there is no how the people could ask questions. However, the Freedom of Information Act has provided another leeway for individuals or group of individuals to ask questions.
Thank you very much. Well, in case you're just coming across this program, it's Law and You, and we are all about accountability in governance and seeing what legal remedies are available for the citizens to, find a way to put a task on the public officials, demanding accountability, of course, stewardship on the public office. And I've been speaking with Emmanuel Ogbakpolo. Well, Emmanuel Ogbakpolo raised some very, very vital issue as regards, finding a lasting solution to this. It was on my mind. You made mention of the fact that the people have given their powers to the Legislative Assembly, their representatives, for instance. And then you also did not fail to say that even when or if these representatives fail to carry out the functions stricto sensu as they demand or request, then they also have another avenue to, explore, which is the Freedom of Information Act. Now, how can they do that? Can you deploy how this mechanism works?
Yeah. Section 3 of the Freedom of Information Act does make provision for an applicant, is a citizen now, can make application to any government institution to ask questions or to get information from that institution with respect to the day-to-day runnings of government, even where it is strictly financial.
Exactly.
Now, but that act also provides for exemptions. The act provides for exemptions where a citizen may not have the right, or an applicant, stricto sensu, may not have the right to ask for information. And note, what are those? What is these exemptions? Exemptions are provided for in section 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 19 of the Freedom of Information Act. Section 12 specifically provides for defense, that you cannot come and make inquiry or get information with respect to defense. And I think that is commonsensical. That is understood. But where it has to do with accountability on how government is being run, with special reference or specific reference to public fund, that information must be made available to that citizen. And where the act again goes further to say where that is refused, that applicant or that citizen has a remedy. Where section 25, he cannot make an application to court for court to grant order to get that information.
We will get there, gradually we'll get there. But let's explore what you just said. You know, you have a way of troubling my mind. And of course, I don't know if you're also doing same ripples to the minds of the viewers. You know, a situation where we look at it where an electoral act is specifically, you know, establishes the provisions as regards any concept or how a thing should be done, you know, in terms of accountability. And then there's still another way in which such a person or citizen cannot, you know, explore, you know, in details or directly or, you know, totally from that same, you know, function. It seems to my mind that it's an attempt to kill an initiative ahead of the purpose. I don't know how you explain that.
Well, the law has a golden eye, and the law sees the past, the present, and the future. That is the position of the law. And I think that is the singular reason why the law makes provision for exemptions. Because...
But when you say the law, men work on the laws.
Yes.
Before it becomes a law or before they become laws, they were once bills. And so men work on it. So what is the guarantee that the men that work on this do not deliberately work on this in order to, you know, protect their patrimony, their personal aggrandizement that may, you know, they may want to seek from the common good that law or that bill, you know, is seeking for in the law. I don't know if you get me.
Yes, you may not, that may not be, that cannot be removed from that fact.
Because we've had this with the Electoral Act.
It could be to protect.
Where the Electoral Act, some part, anyways, I'm not to speak on it, you know, seems to protect those who are even the political actors.
Yes, when you make reference to electoral acts, you discover that in electoral matters, they are so unique and special to the extent that even the interpretation of the laws in marrying the functionality of the electoral officers and their performance in an election gives a wide protection. What do I mean by that? There are the courts in even interpreting the law with respect to electoral acts may not consider the actors of their functionalities of their performance, but may consider what is known as public interest or public safety. That again, to some of us, we may question that what do we mean by public safety, where there is an infringement on the rights of the voter or the electorate. Where the right of the voter or the electorate is infringed upon, is violated, do you now say that whatever interpretation you give is for public safety? That is another question begging for answer. That even the courts have not been able to give answer to. But however, we've witnessed a lot of abracadabra, legal abracadabra, but with special reference or specific reference, to my mind, to the last 2023 general elections. We've seen it. Before now, we've seen that the court visit the law strictly on electoral matters. But just now, we've seen how there is protection with respect to that. But again, let's look at the subject matter. I did say that the Freedom of Information Acts provide for exemptions. And those exemptions are specified in sections 11 to section 19 with the removal of section 18 of the Freedom of Information Act. And that you can go to court as a remedy, section 25. Now, you can see that even that law, the Freedom of Information Act rather, also has given the court responsibility to make order with reference to information as applied by an applicant or a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, it's still within the wisdom of the court to so grant or to refuse. Again, we may have the challenge of interpretation in the nearest future.
Thank you very much. But you just raised an issue that needs to be explained in total, because there's this aspect of, getting allocations that the federal government has given to each state, for instance, in their monthly revenues, of course, monthly allocations from the federal government to the states. We've always seen it where it is not properly broken down. We can hardly, have, reports on the monthly, allocations that each state gets from the federal government. All we can get from the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee most times are usually the total amount, that is being disbursed from the federal government to the states, but not the specific amount that each state gets month in, month out from the federal government. And that what you have to get it from the Accountant General of the state to have a well-explained copy or copies of how the state gets month in, month out allocations from the federal government. Should it be so?
Yes, it ought not to be so, because we have seen that with specific reference to the way the executive carry out the day-to-day runnings of administration in this country, it has shown that there is no transparency. In a climate where there is transparency, there ought to be a breakdown. Even the Constitution makes it clear for there to be a breakdown of how public funds are distributed or shared amongst the federal government and the 36 states of the federation. But here we are, some executive maneuvers are being carried out so that the people of Nigeria will not know that. And now, if the people of Nigeria do not have access to that information, what about their representative at the legislative angle of it?
Do they have access?
Do they have access? If they don't, do they ask questions with respect to that, or they are engaged in frivolities? So that is why the freedom, I think, that the Freedom of Information Act now makes provision.
That's the importance.
In individuals, citizens, group of citizens, to that make application.
Yeah, because it's
get that information.
Yeah, because it's not every information that will be on the public space.
Yes.
So, but that Freedom of Information Act can also help.
Yes.
If you seek or require such information that may not readily be on the public space, so that you can easily access such,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, but how fluid or how, accessible is the office of the Attorney General, for instance?
It's accessible. It's a public office. You can make your application.
Okay.
And the Freedom of Information Act also saw the possibility of the institution wherein that application is made to refuses to grant that application or request as made. And the Act now provides for, in Section 25, that you can go to court to seek a redress so that the court can grant an order. And once the court grants an order, you bring that order to them so that they can furnish you with whatever information as specified in your application.
All right, this is quite a sensitive topic, and we will not be able to exhaust it in one episode. But in the next episode, we're going to be looking more into, the sanctions or how the citizens can be able to, access, remedies, these legal remedies in tackling or finding way where the provisions of the law can, make sanctions on non-performing public officials that are found wanting in terms of not being able to, satisfy the public or the citizens in respect of giving account of their stewardship. And that will be done basically, next week. But before we round off on this, let's look at the aspect of the legislative arm, for instance, that you raised. This is an important arm of government that helps to oversee, deploy, that helps to, look into oversight functions, of the executive. Now, how can we strengthen this body in order to be able to, help in accountability of the executive?
The law is clear with reference to legislative oversight, and that the legislature, their function as provided for by the Constitution is not just to make laws. Like we have agreed, they also have oversight functions to perform.
Yes.
And when they refuse,
but they are lagging in that aspect. Like what you said, they are lagging in that aspect.
Yes.
So how do we strengthen that arm? But first of all, what could be the causative factor, and how can we strengthen that arm for it to be found, living up to expectation?
With the kind of legislative representative we have, and the unique structure of Nigeria, democratically, legally, and otherwise, we may have just one function or one role to play, and that is where you discover now to the citizens, where the citizens of Nigeria discover that the members of the legislative arm of government are not carrying out their functions as legislative arm. In the next election, don't vote for them.
Okay, you are talking about, before that, we could also, explore the aspect of the recall process. And of course, sanctions that may also be given on that. But that will be what we will be having same time next week on Law and You. Well, a big thanks for taking our time to be part of this. Basically, that's what we're going to be looking at in the next episode, because we want to look at the recall process. How is it done? And of course, sanctions that will be given on non-performing public officials. How would that be carried out? So, big thanks for taking our time to be part of this.
It's a pleasure to be.
My name is Philip Omol-Gripo. We'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.
the best.
The Ugiawe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugiawe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Ewe leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style in a colorful ceremony. The Ihogbe Society, amidst singing and dancing, bring the sacred leaves that symbolize good luck, blessings, peace, and prosperity. Each of the senior members of the Ihogbe proceeds to give the sacred leaves directly to the Oba of Benin, and others put theirs at his feet.
Certainly the best. Certainly the best.
All right, guys, it's another lovely Monday evening, and it's my pleasure to have you join me on yet another beautiful episode of the Guys Hangout Show on independent television, reaching you live from that city of bronze. You know, I love to call it that city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the Guys Hangout Show is one show that, teaches men to prioritize themselves and, of course, to be the best that they can be, just so that they can give the best that they can give. It airs on this station every Monday. All right, my name is Harry Aigboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, today, we're going to be taking a look at a very, very important topic, something that actually caught my attention of recent. Okay, sometimes you're just going about your daily activities, and then you just, for a second, certain things just cross your mind, and you begin to ask yourself, what has actually changed? What has gone wrong? How come things are no longer the way they used to be? And one of such things is the growing lack of parental discipline in our society as we have it today. What exactly went wrong? Whether you like it or not, you must have noticed that things are no longer the way they used to be, especially between parents and their kids. Those days when we were growing up, some of us had this reverence for our parents, right? Even in their absence. There were things we're not bold enough to do, we're not courageous enough to do, even in their absence, because of the kind of discipline that they gave us, right? So, for instance, I remember as a kid, I used to live within my boundaries as a child, right? I was not allowed to go to the next compound. Now, that was how I was raised. Not because my parents didn't like us being free, but they just wanted to ensure that we lived within the boundaries that they set for us. Now, I'm sure a lot of you out there can also relate. Now, if you take a look at the parents of today, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore, right? A lot of parents seem to be more flexible in raising their children. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? My name is Harry Aigboje once again, and it's my pleasure to have you join us on this episode of the show. Now, like you already know, I'm not alone. I've got an amazing person in the house with me, and together we're going to be taking a look at this topic. Now, he is an educationist and also, a social analyst. He's really passionate about lots of things that are happening around us, and he loves to share his wealth of wisdom and experience on such matters. It's good to have you, Abu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry. And as usual, it is good to be on the show today again. It is always a pleasure talking about issues that concerns us in society, especially issues like this, where if we keep quiet, things will get deteriorated and it will get out of hand.
True.
So, bad things try because good men decide to keep quiet.
Absolutely.
So we must say something.
Definitely, we must say something, and that's basically why we're here. I mean, we really can't help not to say something, all right? Now, we're going to be taking a look at this issue as we begin to look at it one after the other, right? Okay. Let's look at it from this angle. Parenting is serious business, right? And I don't think a lot of parents realize that, a lot of parents of this generation, because there seems to be this trend of people just giving birth without recourse to the responsibility of taking care of those children. So let's start from there. why would anybody want to, start having kids without, considering what it will take and what it will cost, to take care of those children?
Yeah, procreation is one biological gift that God and nature has given to humans. So anybody can, any adult who has gotten to a certain stage can procreate, except he or she has a medical condition. But procreation is not a yardstick to be called a parent. So we have so many fathers and mothers who are not parents. Being a parent means you are ready for the job after birth. Birthing a child is your God-given talent or God-given gift.
The natural ability.
That natural ability. But the idea of training this child, parenting, is a full-time job. I say full-time job because it's one thing that people just overlook, and because of that they think because they are fathers they could be called parents. No. We have so many fathers but few parents. So it's because of these few parents that we have in society that you see there is a growing lack of discipline in terms of parenting and all that. So I think the few parents that we have, if you see their children outside, you can distinguish them from those that have fathers and just mothers. So I think we should be seeing this thing from the idea of who are parents, to be precise. A parent is that person who is a father or a mother and has indulged herself into the act of bringing up this child. Children, the mind of a child is like a tabula rasa. Whatever you imprint on that mind is what goes a long way to determine what the child will become in life or how the child will behave and all that. But we really have people imprinting these things on the mind of the child. That is the question.
I think that's $1 million question because this is one question I believe a lot of parents do not ask themselves before they begin to procreate. Like you've rightly established, there's a clear difference between procreation
there is.
And parenting. And I think that's what we need to begin to establish. What exactly is it with parents of nowadays? Just like I said in opening, when we were growing up, it was a different ball game, right? We were raised with a very high level of discipline. So much so that parents of this generation will probably see that as you being too hard on your child. Now, what's the place of discipline in parenting? Let's begin.
There are different factors that I think I will tie to this lack of parental discipline. Number one, the infiltration of Western culture into our traditional belief and norms. Secondly, we also have this idea of laziness on the part of some people who call themselves, I use the word who call themselves parents, laziness on their part. And thirdly, there is this idea of the growing new normal where people advocate that children should be treated with, like adults, they should be treated with kids and gloves and all that so that you not hurt them. And so after all, they are human beings. But let me start with this infiltration of Western culture into our traditional culture. Now, you see, the white men asked us at the time to marry a fellow man, a woman marry a fellow woman. Many of us did not dispute it. Some African countries are already doing that. They also asked us to wear the suits, the sleeve, the waistcoat, the tie and all that, despite our hot weather. Many of us did not also dispute that fact. And we are doing it. But very recently, they are also asking us to treat a child as an adult. And so many parents have started, many fathers and mothers have started treating their children as adults. That's the problem. They want to train them in the Western way. They want their children to see themselves as adults. They are rushing them through that childhood. They don't want them to enjoy that childhood. They don't want them to see themselves as children. That state of innocence is no longer there. A child that just here, you call that child that you want to reason the child like an adult. What is reasoning
capacity in the first place?
My brother, what is the rationale behind you sitting a child down to say, let's discuss? You are just 4 now. And who told you that a 4 years old is thinking like an adult already? It's not. I know many will say this is a computer age and jet. Leave that computer age and jet. Children are children. And most of how were we brought up? We were told that if you misbehave, I will flog you. I have so many parents in my area. My father was not just my father. Yes, he was my biological father, but I have so many fathers. Before my father even come back from his workplace, someone else have disciplined you if you misbehave and all that. Do we still have such in our society? No. You see, everybody wants to say my family.
So you're saying that in those days there was a communal mindset?
A communal mindset. All parents were parents, and all children were children to all parents. Now, these days, you see families saying, you don't touch my child, I know how to discipline my child, you leave this child for me to discipline and all that. So that's why we're getting children are going haywire. Some of them are even going gaga. You know, some of the hairstyle that a 10-year, 11-year-old will put on, you begin to wonder, is this one coming from a home? You see some young girls out there, 11, 10, some of the things they will wear, like, does this one even have fathers and mothers at home? So the issue now is we are drinking too much from this cup of Western wine. I think we should come back home. We should come back to this African tradition. We are Africans. And in Africa, there is discipline intrinsically buried in our totemic mindset. It is in our subconscious. That discipline should be resurrected. That parents should see themselves as not just parents, but as role models, as disciplinarians. Correct these children when need be. Don't reason with a child. It gets to a certain stage, you reason with him, not at this stage. It is some of those things that you imprint on him when he was still a child that will model him into a very good adult. A good child definitely will become a good adult.
Absolutely.
Now, when you lead them, you think they can think of themselves. What you fail to tell them, their friends out there will tell them. And that is what we should avoid. So that idea of Western culture, I think we should come back home. Beside that, sir, this idea of laziness on the part of parents. They think now that you already have a child. So if you can provide for this child, you are performing the work of a parent already. The provision we are talking about here is not just finance. Many of them thought it's just finance. He's attending a very good school, I can provide. If he wants to buy anything, I can give him more. No. Emotionally, psychologically, this child needs you. Morally, you should be there for him. Who are his friends? Do you even know his friends? What are his routine? How does this child carry out his daily activity? You should be your child's best friend. You should have a roundtable talk most times with him. You should be able to tell him, if you try that, I will flog a lot of you and you will not try it. Don't let him see himself like an adult already. You hardly even see children these days bathing outside. And someone said it's civilization. I think they know too much.
Okay.
Their parents make them know too much.
So why did I say they've gone past the phase of innocence?
You see that state of innocence? It has been killed. Every child now, the parents have been able to inculcate in them that they are no longer children, but they are now what? Adults. And there is no way a child can behave like an adult. He will be an adult in a wrong form. So let these children grow. Correct them. Discipline them. Be a disciplinarian. You don't rub men with a child of 5.
Okay. Now, you've actually said a lot. Now, talking about the infiltration of Western culture, just recently I saw a video on Facebook of this American comedian, a veteran comedian, Steve Harvey, of, he was actually interviewing a kid, a 5-6-year-old girl. So he was asking her why she liked her brother, why she loved her brother. And she was saying, well, she loves her brother because, her big brother, of course, because he's always there to protect her and to comfort her when, her parents whooped her. And then, of course, the crowd, reacted in laughter and all of that. Now, I went through the comments as usual, and I saw a lot of persons asking questions, and a lot of people, complaining that it was totally out of place for the parents to, whoop her or to discipline her. And, of course, it became a debate as usual. Now, that pretty much reminds me of something. The fact that this is also becoming a major issue in this part of the world, whether or not to discipline a child. Because some people see the use of corporal punishment as a sign of hatred for the child. That how can you, use corporal punishment for a child that you love? So they see it as, you doing too much. They believe you shouldn't use corporal punishment on your child, that there are other ways. Just like you said, some of them believe you can reason with your child. But how do you reason with a child whose mind is not even matured enough to look at things from that perspective? I think what we have is actually a problem, because people want to mistake smartness, intellectual exposure to maturity.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem. I would like you to speak in that regard.
You see, words get their meaning from their context.
Okay.
What they call maltreatment in a particular context, in another context might be called discipline. So when that person say, you are hitting that child too hard, you're beating this child and all that. But I think in the right context, when it comes to my child or any other child, or any other child around me, you should use that right word, discipline. We were once children, sir. They did not kill us.
Of course not.
We are what we are today because of how our parents decided to straighten our life. at least our parents are not beasts. They know what they are doing. You don't expect a mother who gave birth to a child to kill that child with her own ends, except she's maniacally derailed and all that. Yeah. When children are being disciplined with love, you can discipline a child with love. There is no need you bringing in ideas of you are abusing the child rights and all that. He is a child, for God's sake. The reason why you are saying I am abusing his right because you want to protect that child. The reason why I even discipline that child is to protect the child also. Now, this is what the government are fighting against, is that you should not abuse, assault a child. Discipline will get to an extent, becomes an assault.
So that's where we need to draw the line now. At what point does discipline become an assault?
When you begin to inflict serious pains,
bodily harm
on this child, it is not an assault.
Okay.
When you are not correcting the child with love, it becomes an assault. When you are doing it with hatred, it becomes an assault. When you forget the fact that this person is still a child, it becomes an assault. But when you are doing it in the circumstances of these things I'm saying, like he's a child, I want to correct him with love, he's my child, and all that, that is discipline. And we should not rule out discipline because some persons are misusing it. I know I am not in line with so many parents or guardians who have decided to inflate pains on children because you want them to listen. No, that is beyond discipline. Okay. That is now an assault. That is now an hatred. That is now a corporal punishment. And if I ask my child to kneel down there, for example, or get a cane and give my child 2 or 3 strokes of the cane for doing something wrong, next time he will not try it. But if you now give a punishment that is more than that child to that child, then it becomes an assault.
An assault, okay.
You're asking a child, for example, you get pepper, rub on the child's body, or give the person some scars, marks, and all that. Rub pepper. No, that is wicked and that is evil. But you're asking the child to kneel down there, or get a cane, flog this child 5 times or more, as the case may be, and after all this, call the child, next time, don't try it. I am your father, I love you, and that's why I'm doing this. I hope you will not try it next time. Such a child will not try it. But you're not letting the child know the reason why you have flogged him or disciplined him and all that. It is hatred.
Hatred.
So we should draw the line between discipline and hatred. So I am not advocating for that idea of that battering, that corporal punishment. No. I am saying we should not rule out the fact that these children are still children. And children have a mindset that is as clean as a tabula rasa. So we have to imprint something that they will take up into becoming a very good adult.
I guess that's why the Holy Book says that you should train up your child in the way he should go, that when he is old, he will not depart from it. All right, guys, it's still the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. Just in case you're just joining us, we're talking about the decline in discipline, parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What exactly is the problem? Why is it that, kids are no longer as disciplined as before? Why is it that kids nowadays can just do whatever they want without, their parents or a parental figure, putting them in check? Now, Abu, just a moment ago, you were talking about the difference between correcting in love and correcting, in hatred, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's no longer uncommon to see children just walking past an adult without greeting. And that was actually one of the things that we were taught as, children. And that was exactly one of those values that we grew up with, which is why we cannot see someone who's older than us now
and not greet.
Don't you think that's also a function of this lack of discipline?
The dysfunctionality of the society, that's one of the factor, one of the things we got from the dysfunctionality in the society. Why did I say so? I just told you not quite long that all parents were parents to all children. An elder can call you back and say, so you don't know how to greet. Where are you from? You say, I'm sorry, sir. Good morning, sir. Or in my dialect, you greet according to your family lineage, and you must do that. That's how we grow up. But these days, many parents have restricted themselves from doing that. Before someone else will come somewhere and say, don't talk to my child, it's my child, I know how to train my child and all that. So that communal nature is no longer there. And you can see, that is just a microcosm of the larger one. You could see, apart from this idea of greeting, you could see children, they hardly even get up from the seat for an elder to sit, if that's the only seat.
That's another dimension to it.
Now, you see some of them, they are very disrespectful. They have begun to euphemize what we call disrespect. You see some of them will say savage reply. What you might want to call obscenity,
I think that's one of the effects of
stupidity, social media.
Yeah.
You see some of them will say, there's a new one now, we listen, we don't judge.
That's not even good.
They are indirectly promoting children to go haywire.
Go wild.
They are promoting this idea of you can always do whatever you want to do. And they are promoting immorality.
And the question we should even be asking is, what do we call judge in this context? Judging is discipline. The discipline we're talking
about. It is a discipline they want to eradicate.
When a child does something wrong, you're supposed to discipline that child.
So you say
but to children of this generation, is
you listen, you don't judge. I will judge, you say, you listen, you don't judge. Besides that, sir, you see, when these children were growing up, they were given this orientation that I am your father, I am your mother, I am the only person, I should be the only person that has the moral right to discipline you. And that's bad. Let these children know that all parents in this vicinity are your parents.
Even adults.
Even adults.
Not
they
necessarily
have the
parents.
right to discipline you in my absence. When I was growing up, something happened. I went home to tell my father that a teacher has flogged me in school. He said, okay, the next morning we'll go. He followed me to school. And when we got there, he took the cane himself and flogged me again right in front of the teacher. These were adults in unity. Adults having a meeting over me that I don't even know about. Their primary aim then was, this child must not go wayward. Now that I am an adult, I used to think like, okay, could it be the reason why my dad have to flog me again? You know, that sends a message. The message was, you are safe in his hands and don't misbehave because I'm your father. I'll flog you again. But these days, we've seen parents that will follow their children to school and start constituting nuisance. Some of them will not even ask. You'll be telling your child right from the home that your teacher will die today. You are giving that child an impression that he or she can disrespect
an elder
and get away with it. I'm your mother, I will always fight for you. You are creating a small problem that will blossom into a bigger one in society tomorrow. A child you couldn't discipline today will end up in prison. And they'll start crying. Discipline your child. Teach these children societal value. The values, one of the values I will hold tenaciously to in Africa is respect. They should be respectful. Leave this idea of we are in a civilized world, this is a computer age. And in America, you don't touch a child like that, they'll call the police on trust Nigeria police. Okay. They'll be very quick to tell you, no, it's not like that. You must respect your parents and all that. So that is one of the factors. Okay. Though there are other factors. There are factors that we have this single motherhood and fatherhood. Yeah. It's also a contributing factor.
Broken homes.
A broken home. Now, if a child is coming from a broken home, that parental care, love will not be there. Of course, it's not easy for one person to train up a child.
Okay.
You need a father figure, you need a mother figure, and this person is not there. Definitely, it will affect the child's psychology, and that will metamorphose into an adult that will be antisocial,
okay,
or that will be maladjusted in society.
All right.
So that is another angle.
Okay, once again, it's the Guys Hangout Show, and tonight we're taking a look at the issue of the lack of parental discipline. What has gone wrong? What is the difference between the way it used to be and the way it is now? Now, Abu, in closing, I just wanted to give a word of advice to parents out there who are not living up to expectation in terms of disciplining their child. Those who think, letting their child get away with everything they do is a sign of love. What's your advice for them? In less than,
They shouldn't be just a father or a mother.
Okay.
They should be parents. And parenting is not an easy job.
Okay.
If you are capable of giving birth to a child, you should be able to parent, take good care of that child. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to discipline your child.
Don't be scared to discipline your child. I guess that's the parting word for tonight. I want to say a big thank you to you, Abu, for taking out time.
Thank you, my brother.
Your time to be with us on the show today. And of course, to every one of you out there who have created time to be with us. I hope you've taken something away from tonight's discourse. Of course, the most important thing to take away from this is parenting is serious business. All right? So the moment you decide to become a parent, just have it in mind that the future of that child lies in your hands. If that child is going to grow up to become a responsible person, it's totally up to you. And of course, it's up to the adults that child is surrounded by. So another thing that Abu said in the course of his analysis is that parenting doesn't just end with you as a parent. You should also give the adults around your child the responsibility of raising your child, just like it was in the olden days. Don't have this mindset that you are the only one who has the responsibility of taking care of that child. My name is Harry Igboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do ensure you do the right thing and stay out of trouble. Do have yourself a lovely night rest.
Certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
matters.
women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Certainly the best.
Hello viewers, welcome to Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji. So today on Viewpoint, let's talk about the insecurity that has been affecting Nigeria as a country and how it affects our economy, our agricultural sector, and most importantly, our means of livelihood.
Security is the most important element if you are talking about whether state development or national development. No investment can thrive when there is no guaranteed security. And I don't think any economy can grow. I don't think any country can do well if the security architecture of that country is not such that it's able to arrest things that will make investors scared to put their investments in that very environment. And then on the issue of Donald Trump, some people say it's threatening Nigeria, but I don't think it's threatening Nigeria. The issues raised that led to Donald Trump and the Secretary of War of the United States wanting to come to Nigeria, those issues, are they real? Those are the questions to ask. The killings, are they real? Is there massacre of people, whether Christians or non-Christians? I don't believe that people that are doing it, that they are Muslims, because I don't know that Islam does not encourage killings. So for them to think that they are on some mission for God in quotes, and nobody has been able to stop them. We have a country where the security agencies have not been able to curb these things for so many years. 8 years of Buhari is gone. We are post 2 years now into Tinubu administration. That's 10 years. And in a country like Nigeria, you still see where they will show you on video where people are being killed and buried. The question when some people talk, the question I always ask them is it because those that are affected are not directly related to it? So I think that the American government, coming out to say that if Nigeria cannot solve it, they want to come and solve it. I think it's a wake-up call on one, the president who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is the chief security officer of Nigeria, to either do the needful and let every Nigerian feel protected within our country.
As of today, obviously insecurity has become a thing of concern for every Nigerian. And primarily from our own research, I personally have realized that the insecurity is given birth to by Nigerians themselves, in line with the high rate of corruption in the system. Insecurity can only reduce when the corruption level is reduced. The primary cause of insecurity in our society is lack of consequences to crime. So if there are consequences, as we all know, the Nigerians are very good in abiding to laws when there is consequences to the crime they commit. So the Nigerians are very good in taking advantage of loopholes when there is no consequences to their crime. If you pay attention to Nigerians that are in diaspora today, you realize that 80% of them are very law-abiding over there. The primary reason for that is because in the Western world, the consequences to crime is non-negotiable. So, but coming back home today, we all have seen it, taking a negative tone on our society, and we all are, affected by it in one way or the other. Talking about foreign intervention to Nigeria, we all, I wouldn't say we all know, but for me, it is obviously clear that this was expected at a point. It's in two ways. One way is because of the applications of the current federal government, the steps they are taking to boycott American. The country we are living in right now is a one-party system. And obviously, it's not healthy for the country. We see governors, everybody moving to APC today. So Nigeria is in the state of in the state of surgery. So we need a surgery at this point, because a society that does not have a competitor is as good as doomed.
What Abai will say right now is concerning the herdsmen that come to our community here. Those are rear cow. They normally come with their cow to eat people cross here in my community here. They used to come with their cow. Instead of them to move along the road so that their cow will not eat grass from the road, they will take those cows to the people's farm in community. They will be eating their cross. Some will have cassava, some will have yam. Those cows will not destroy those cross in their farm. Many occasions, those people, they will come to me, started explaining what is going on in their farm concerning the herdsmen with their cow. We don't want such a thing from the community. The way they are damaging people crossing here in community is very bad. Also, in our secondary school in Umtekon here is very bad. There is no window in those schools, no door. There are some iron shed that those children are using to sit in the school. Some boys, we don't know them. They will go there, destroy those shell, pack those iron and bend it, fold it and take it to somewhere they will go and sell those iron. It's the iron that they are taking from the shell. They will remove the wool that the children will use supposed to write in school. Then we remove those one away from the shell. Then we fold the iron, take it away to go and sell it to wherever they want to sell it. We doesn't want such a thing in community. We are still pleading, we are begging so that they can also support us. It's supposed the school is well available for us. The school is well built. Those windows have been fixed. Those doors have been fixed. By the time those door or window are being locked, I believe that they can never go there and be stealing those iron shell in school.
First and foremost, let me start with how it affects our livelihood. You will discover that when farmers can no longer access their farms, they can no longer cultivate crops, you find out that there is food shortage and there is food insecurity. People will be hungry and the few crops or agricultural products, the price will skyrocket, which will result in inflation. And if the prices of foodstuff increase, every other thing will increase to catch up with the prices of foodstuff. You'll find out that when there is insecurity, people can no longer travel. You find out that you see situations where buses are stopped and everybody is kidnapped. How will people do interstate and intercity economic matters or businesses? You find out that everyone is holed up in his own state or in his own city without being able to do cross-country businesses. And again, you find out that foreign investments run away from countries or places where there's insecurity. Where there's insecurity or fear of the unknown, money flies away. People start taking out their finances, their investment, and running away from that country. That is the problem Nigeria is facing, and it is not good for our economic development. And if need be, what stops us from asking for help? If your house is on fire and only you cannot quench the fire, will you not call in neighbors to help? I have spoken against his rhetoric before, but we should look beyond how he speaks. We all know Donald Trump, he will always be Trump. But we must look beyond that and see how we can be helped. Now, Donald Trump seems to have the list of people who are behind this mess that we are in. And so everyone is jittery. But Nigeria needs help. And if help is coming, we should accept it so that these bandits, these headsmen can be driven away. We must not play politics with our security. If we need help, we should accept help.
Insecurity in Nigeria ranges between banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, and of course, these ethnic clashes. We cannot rule that one out. Also, the farmer herders herdsmen clashes, we can also rule it out. And the fact remains that these have been so predominant in the north and southeast of Nigeria. And I think of recent, we started experiencing kidnapping in the south. Before now, at the advent of the democratic system in this era, there was this militants in the south. But I think at the moment, what we are experiencing now, one can only say that there is other hidden agenda which is not visible to the understanding of the natural man, because we discovered that in the north, a lot of religious crisis, so to say, because we see the Christians are being killed almost on a daily basis, churches are burnt, and of recent, the United States of America alerted us that there is, of course, genocide, the massacre of the Christians in Nigeria, of which we are not ignorant of that fact because it has been always on the news. In Benue, in Plateau, of course, Nasarawa, Borno, Adamawa, where the Christian Association of Nigeria chairman of that state was also killed. I think as it stands, the effect is so devastating. For example, you are going to discover that, especially in the northern region, there's going to be restriction of movements, transportation. Of course, also in the south, because you cannot move so freely, because fear of being kidnapped is there, and this herdsmen issue, because like in our community of recent, we saw some of these people also creating some problem, resulting in killings, and of course, those things are likely to have adverse effects on our economy, and of course, in the movement of citizens.
Insecurity is affecting our culture, is affecting food production, short of food, short of yams. At the same time, years back, you see yams everywhere, plantains everywhere, and all that. So, if I may say, but Nigeria is a nation, country, and we also have a stake. But since our government are proving the otherwise, what do you expect us to do? Everywhere insecurity. Benin City, where we are, there's insecurity, Fulani X-Men everywhere, Nitiala and all those terrorist groups and all that. Not until they browned these bandits as terrorists, I think they won't do anything about it. And to a large extent, they're being funded by powers on high. At this point, Nigerians are helpless, and that's the gospel truth. We're helpless. The nation is on the standstill, nothing is working. Nothing at all is working. And so, if now our president is beginning to wake up and ask for assembly, it's the right call towards the right direction. They should wake up and do something. Because for too long, I think some persons are making profit out of this banditry and whatever is going on, this so-called Boko Haram and all that. How can you have in a nation, in a country that we are, Nigeria, our nation, we have no other country, whether we travel to America, wherever, we're still Nigerians. Just imagine, in this same nation, we have Sharia law. Does it make any sense? And we say we want Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if we are Nigerians anymore. I don't know the right word to say. And I think the Northerners, it's high time they wake up to know we are Nigerians. We are one Nigeria, one nation. Nigeria is not for me alone, it's not for the North, it's not for the Igbos, it's not for the Yoruba, it's not for the Edos, it's not for the Shekiri or Jaws or whatever. It's for everybody. And when we wake up to that responsibility, I think and I believe Nigeria will go forward.
The security of life and property and the welfare of the citizenry is the primary obligation, the duty of the government as enshrined in our Constitution, particularly under Chapter 2, precisely Section 14, Subsection 2B, where it says that the government's primary responsibility shall be to provide welfare of the citizens and security of lives and property. And that, be that as it may, it seems that our security issue has lingered for such a long time, that it begins to give some inferences, that people are beginning to infer that there's more to it. There are people who are cashing out on this, our insecurity, which shows that it's being politicized. There's more to it. But in my own honest view, I think that whatever challenge we have in this insecurity can squarely be handled and tackled by the government, except that they are having some cold feet, probably because of some of their interests or inordinate benefits they are getting from it. Otherwise, if they are set to tackle insecurity, who are these insurgents that we cannot suppress? But because there are political motives, there are selfish, objectives, there are people who are making it here and there, I mean, insecurity or kidnapping and banditry have come in the realms of billions now. They now ask people for ransom in billions, in hundreds of millions. So it has become very profitable to indulge in. So people have been encouraged to get into it because government has provided a veritable ground for it to fester. So now I think that since Nigeria is a sovereign nation, foreign intervention cannot happen. America cannot invade Nigeria without incurring the wrath of the international community. But as a sovereign nation, your internal affairs are to be managed and handled by you and not to another nation. But America being the number one world police of all the nations, you don't expect them to fold their hands and watch the gory scenes that are flowing out from Nigeria every day, where people are being beheaded recklessly and ruthlessly, where people's lives have been turned upside down, people have been maimed and brutalized, people have been chased away from their ancestral homes, and nothing is being done, despite the amount of budget, huge, humongous money they've been budgeted for fighting insecurity. It ends up in private courts. And, the kind of, when you fight a war that those who are fighting it are part of it, it becomes difficult to win. But most of the people fighting insurgency and insecurity are part of the problem. So that's why it becomes a problem. So I don't think that it is impossible for America to invade Nigeria. It has happened in the past.
Now we blame the federal government and the state government, not only Edo State. It's no more news. We are aware how the bandit came into Nigeria. I would not want to dwell on it too much. It affects the community, even the rural area. I have farmers that are even farming on their own inside my farm. I have almost 50 laborers. Do you know if I didn't employ security people, that village would not have been going to farm at all. And yet we are not feeling the impact of either the state government or the federal government. This place is a bit fair. What of Benue and Plateau? The government should wake up.
For a very long time now, the issue of our insecurity, has been quite alarming. Yes, as a nation that is suffering insecurity, the economy of such a country is going to be stagnated. As a country is also seeking to grow our economy, it is also very important that investors from around the world are attracted to invest into the economy. And then let's also look at our citizens. If there's unrest regarding, if the liberty of the people is being threatened, there's no how people can go about their daily endeavors. Right now, it's also the present issue that farmers no longer go to their farms because of the issue of banditry, kidnapping, and all of that, which is a major problem in our current society. It is also to that effect that we as human rights activists within our own capacity are trying out to the government to ensure that the right security apparatus is being employed, and then that the government of the day is trying to focus more their energy is being channeled to address the issues of insecurity as the ultimate unrest in our nation. With no reasons to dispute that Nigeria currently is going through insecurity, like you rightly said. But then, as a president of a country which we believe should also be inclined to international law, we see it as a disrespect, to Nigeria as a sovereign state. Yes, before we engage, there are rules of engagement. If Nigeria as a sovereign nation is in one way or the other having a bilateral agreement or a diplomatic agreement with the U.S., inviting the U.S. government to intervene in an issue, then it would be a different case. And then the reasons why I, as a person, which I'm also entitled to my opinion, will not support that effort is because the United States, when it comes to military intervention, has a very poor record, because we've seen instances of countries where they intervene and such countries were left in ruin, and Libya is a forceful example in Africa.
Amid insecurity that is currently affecting Nigeria as a country and its citizens, with different reactions from our respondents, who also called on the federal government to do the needful to boost the security of lives and properties of citizens. They also reacted and made reference to the intervention statement made by the United States of America's President Donald Trump, calling it a welcome development, and it should also be something that should be welcomed by the country. It is Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji.
Certainly the best.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaeware and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.